Did it have to do this to me? My God, dude, my head hurts so much, bro. Oh, I just gotta cool off, man. Oh, man, dude. It's on the front of my face. Oh, man. Why did UFC 313 have to do this to me? Why did it have to do this to me? UFC 313 was absolutely atrocious, bro. Absolutely detrimental to my mental health. I'm not even kidding you when I say I contemplated. I contemplated a lot of things last night, okay? I turned off the camera after my live stream. I started thinking. I started thinking to myself, I don't think I fell asleep until 3:30 a.m. 2 to 3 hours after the card ended, by the way. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sitting here fuming. There's a lot of things to be pissed off about this card. Marion Santos and Francis Marshall. I watched this fight with my own two eyes. You cannot convince me that Francis Marshall lost this fight. Chris Labathy and whoever that other moron is that judged this fight, I do not want them ever stepping foot near a UFC octagon ever again. Okay? Send those bozos straight to the GFL. I want their first fight to be judged with Tony Ferguson and Dylan Dennis. I want an absolute robbery in Tony Ferguson's first GFL debut. And I'm not saying it better not be a robbery for Dylan Dennis or else. Okay? Or else. The fans are gonna do something. Now, by the way, that's not a threat. That's absolutely not a threat at all. Marion Santos sat after there during the interview, sat after that atrocious decision and just laughed in front of everyone's face that sat there and said, hey, Francis Marshall won this fight. Laughed at all the people that backed Francis Marshall and should have won fair and square with their pick. Okay? This dude laughed corruption off like it was nothing. Absolute corruption. This wasn't, oh, well, it was a close fight. You know, it could have gone either way. You know, oh, well, what do you mean? What do you mean, Teo? You know, didn't you watch the fight? I mean, Marion Santos, he busted up Francis Marshall pretty good. You know, he made him bleed a little bit. You know what I mean? Francis Marshall dropped him. Francis Marshall dropped him on his butt, bro. That was the biggest moment of the fight. Not to mention, he absolutely outgrappled Marion Santos. I thought the takedown defense was going to hold up. Nah, Francis Marshall said, screw that. Screw that. I didn't think he was going to be able to take him down. Francis Marshall proved me wrong. Now, the judges, absolutely disgusting. Get those guys out of here. I don't want them judging any more, okay? Unless it's going to be beneficial to the fans, never again. Never, ever, ever again. Okay, get them as far away from mixed martial arts as possible. I want them sent to Mars, if that's what it takes. I'm going to hit up Elon Musk and buy them a private rocket straight up to Saturn and Pluto, if it takes that much. Never, ever again. Alex Morono, Carlos Leal. Leal did his thing. Thankfully, it didn't go to the judges. Thankfully, Chris Labathy didn't have a say in Carlos Leal's fight. God forbid he gets robbed too, 2 times in a row. The man has already tasted the stupidest defeat on planet Earth in Saudi Arabia. 2 times in a row would have been... that would have gotten me heated. If that would have went to decision, that would have gotten me heated. Okay, Bruno Ferreira, Armin Petrosian, the nut shots, disgusting. Thank you, Mark Smith, for initiating the point take. Because I genuinely thought Bruno Ferreira was about to take 2 ball shots and Armin Petrosian wasn't about to get punished at all. I genuinely thought that Mark Smith was just going to laugh it off. Bruno, come on, man. You're an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? You just got tapped in the balls a little bit. And then Armin Petrosian has the audacity to try and fake a groin strike. Get him out of here. I want him cut right now. I don't care. I don't need any of that anymore in the UFC. Ray Saruya and Joshua Van. I'm boiling. I'm boiling, bro. I need some water. I'm not even kidding you. I need some water right now. I am boiling. I'll cool myself off. I have to cool off later on. Joshua Van demolished Ray Saruya. Ray Saruya took this fight on short notice. He should not have taken this fight on short notice. In fact, Ray Saruya should have just said, nah, I can't. You know, I can't. I have an injury. I can't. He should have made up any other excuse than accepted this fight. Joshua Van demolished Ray Saruya. I am an absolute Ray Saruya super fan. Okay? He's a newbie in the UFC, but Ray Saruya has the personality of a golden child, bro. You know what I mean? You just want to, oh, he's so cute. Oh, look at Ray Saruya. I just want to grab your little cheeks, and I just want to make sure that you never lose a UFC fight, and I just want to make sure that Ray Saruya stays undefeated. Well, that is out the window. That is out the window. You know what's going to suck about this fight? Ray Saruya has gotten exposed. Ray Saruya has no striking at all. And I don't know if it was just because Joshua Van is an absolute unit and Ray Saruya couldn't get his wrestling off, and he wasn't able to implement his striking. Oh my God! Every time he shot for the crotch, I just cringed. I just reacted. This fight was detrimental. This fight was detrimental to my mental health. Ray Saruya may never come back from this fight. You know what I mean? This is one of those fights where you go in thinking, you can have a chance. You have a good chance. I mean, the odds weren't even in Joshua Van's favor. You know what I mean? Joshua Van was a slight favorite. Ray Saruya had a good chance to win this, and he blew it. He blew it by taking the fight on short notice against one of the best strikers in the flyweight division. Ray Saruya's biggest threat. Biggest threat is a striker that has decent takedown defense. Yeah, this fight hurt, bro. This fight hurt the soul. And to think that I was heated yesterday. I had to go and wash my face at least 3 or 4 times during the live stream. I drank like 5 or 6 bottles of water. Probably 2 of them being during this fight. Just to cool off my body because I was going insane. 15 minutes of just Ray Saruya getting his ass absolutely handed to him. I can't. I got to stop talking about this fight. Mauricio Rufy, absolutely phenomenal spinning heel kick, knocks out Bobby Green. Bobby Chinny Green. I don't know. I don't know where Bobby Green goes from here. He just starts fighting older dudes, and I guess that is what it is. Lemos, Lucindo, skip. Jalen Turner retiring. Jalen Turner retired, guys. Jalen Turner's gone. We may never see Jalen Turner ever fight again. The tarantula, bro. Fights anyone, anytime, anywhere. Just gone like that. His coaches tried to convince him not to. Jalen Turner is pretty dead set on it. I'm not even that big of a Jalen Turner fan, but to see a guy like that, 29 years old, throw in the towel and listen, it's a decision by Jalen Turner. He's got to do what's best for him. And I understand it. You know what I mean? I understand it. If you're losing to the big, up-and-coming, hungry Ignacio Bahamondes, you know what I mean? If you can't keep up with the new contenders coming through, I get it. Okay, I understand stepping away from the octagon. But man, dude, I think it was just a little too soon. Ignacio Bahamondes is a beast. Did I think he was going to submit Jalen Turner? Absolutely not. Nowhere in my mind did I see Ignacio Bahamondes pulling a triangle and submitting Jalen Turner the way he did. In fact, I didn't think he had a chance to even submit Jalen Turner. Knock him out? Potentially. Submit him? That was not on the bingo card. That was not on my bingo card at all. It's unfortunate. And listen, shout out to Jalen Turner. That's all I got to say. That's all I can say. Shout out to Jalen Turner. He provided us with some absolute bangers. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think that walk-off KO that he thought he was going to pull against Renato Moicano changed the trajectory of his career. I mean, he could have been, the commentary team was talking about it, he could have been the guy stepping up on short notice to fight Islam Makhachev. You know what I mean? Who knows? He could have been that guy. And unfortunately, this sport is a cruel sport. Once you take one of those, detrimental losses and you start spiraling downhill, there's not much you can do, bro. It's hard to bounce back. Speaking of bounce backs, Justin Gaethje, phenomenal bounce back. Nothing to rant about here. Fiziev came in on short notice. He came in, he gave Justin Gaethje his all. I thought at one point Fiziev might have won, might have been able to win that fight. Obviously, Justin Gaethje pulls through late again. Veteran savvies, Rafael Fiziev. And listen, I don't know. I don't know where Fiziev goes from here. Is he ever going to fight for a title? Who knows, bro? Who knows? I mean, if he can't beat Justin Gaethje, sole striker, and Justin Gaethje is a phenomenal striker. Okay? Justin Gaethje, one of the best strikers in UFC history. Hits like an absolute freight train. I can't believe we didn't see a knockout in this fight, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Slugfest, fight of the night. But Fiziev, I don't know, man. I mean, once he breaks into that top 5, and if he ever faces Islam Makhachev, I don't think it's going to be even close, bro. I think Fiziev showed last night that he may not be a guy that's going to be a champion. You know what I mean? He may not even be a guy that gets a chance at a belt. And I hate saying that. I'm a Fiziev fan. It honestly sucks that one of these guys had to lose. Justin Gaethje with a nice bounce back. Justin Gaethje coming off of 2 losses probably would have been a little bit more detrimental to my mental health. You know what I mean? The Justin Gaethje winning evens out Fiziev losing. But the main event, what was Alex Pereira doing last night? What in the world was that form of Alex Pereira? It's almost like Magomed Ankalaev has had his own form of magic and just said, you know what? Screw the Shama magic. I'm just going to force you back, bro. Magomed Ankalaev, it was almost like he had some sort of negative aura that Poatan was just allergic to. Where Poatan just had to keep moving back, keep moving back, keep moving back. Oh my God. And then Magomed Ankalaev winning a round by just hugging Pereira up against the fence, bro. Magomed Ankalaev just winning a round, hugging Pereira up against the fence. I saw a lot of people going crazy. MMA Guru specifically absolutely went bonkers last night when Ankalaev got the nod. Listen, Ankalaev won that fight. But he's right, bro. The fact that they are rewarding fighters for stalling, rewarding fighters for just holding other fighters up against the cage. And I'm going to be the first one to say it. I didn't think that was going to happen that way. I thought if Magomed Ankalaev got any sort of control time, it would be a trip, and then he ends up on top of Alex Pereira. You know what I mean? Or maybe he gets a nice single leg, double leg. Ankalaev isn't really a wrestler. I wasn't coming in with the impression that Ankalaev was going to Khabib Nurmagomedov all over Alex Pereira. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but I did think he was going to maybe find a trip or two, work, some control time on the ground, maybe for a round or two. I did not think that this dude was just going to sit there and hug Pereira up against... I mean, for crying out loud, bro. I mean, for crying out loud. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yo, can I be a UFC champion now? Is this a good form, guys? Yo, can I be a UFC champion now? Oh my God, give me the belt. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We're rewarding that? Are you serious? Oh my God, bro. What has our sport become? Yes, I get it. It's mixed martial arts. Are we not here trying to do the most amount of damage possible? Are we not here trying to get our opponents out? Are we not here trying to take heads off? What is this? Are we trying to soften up mixed martial arts? What is going on? What is actually going on, dude? And I get it, okay? Magomed Ankalaev, listen, he did what he needed to do. He did it efficiently. He did it effectively. Clearly enough to get a win. And he got a freaking 49-48 from that moron Sal D'Amato. But what has the sport come to? What has the sport come to? Shout out to Magomed Ankalaev. I mean, he did what he needed to do. And listen, if I was in Magomed Ankalaev's position, I'm not going to lie. Those boos definitely would have gotten to me. You know what I mean? If I was, fighting for a UFC championship belt, I get it. Magomed Ankalaev, he's been working for this his whole entire life. He's tasted not even defeat. I would argue that getting a draw in a UFC championship fight is even worse than getting defeated. That is disgusting. That is one of those situations where people even forget that you fought for a UFC title. I mean, last night I was sitting here, I totally forgot that Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev was for a UFC title. How often do you watch fights, obviously excluding the women MMA, you know what I mean? Because I get it. Sometimes they can have draws. They're a little bit more, equalized, so to say. How in the world, as a 205-pound man, with the power that Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz both possess, do you go 5 rounds and get a draw? That is aside from this rant right here. Listen, Magomed Ankalaev got the nod. It sucks. It's detrimental. 0 for 12 on takedowns. 5 minutes and 42 seconds of stalling up against the cage. 5 minutes and 42 seconds. If he doesn't get rewarded for that 5 minutes and 42 seconds, Alex Pereira gets the nod. And you can't fault Magomed Ankalaev too, because at the end of the day, he did come out. He did say, "Hey, it takes 2 to tango." You know what I mean? It does take 2 to tango. Poatan being uncharacteristic the way he was last night, that was arguably one of the most shocking things I've seen in MMA. That was more shocking than when Sean Strickland beat Israel Adesanya. I was more shocked at the fact that Poatan last night didn't look like himself more than I was when Sean Strickland knocked down Israel Adesanya and then beat him. 5 rounds. Took Izzy 5 rounds and just beat him. On short notice, too. My head hurts. My head hurts thinking about all this, bro. Alex Pereira is no longer the UFC champion. The Shama might die off here pretty soon. This This is an unforgiving sport. I mean, like I mentioned earlier with the Jalen Turner situation, this is an unforgiving sport. Obviously, Alex Pereira didn't get knocked out. He didn't get clipped. He didn't get dropped. It wasn't a detrimental loss. But this fight right here changes Alex Pereira's aura forever. Forever changes Alex Pereira's aura. And now everyone has the game plan on how to beat Alex. You don't even have to take him down. You do not even have to take him down. In fact, if Sal D'Amato's judging your fight, all you have to do is hug the guy up against the cage. Mario Bautista your way to a victory. It is absolutely disgusting that this type of behavior is getting rewarded by the UFC. Mark Goddard should be absolutely ashamed of himself. I can't believe that Mark Goddard just sat there and let it happen, too. I mean, if Mark Goddard had any sort of brain, he would have been like, all right, well, he's clearly milking here. You know what I mean? He's clearly milking here. But at the end of the day, it does revolve right back to Alex Pereira. What are you doing, bro? Get off the cage. Like, do something. Earn Magomed Ankalaev's respect. Land a big shot. Drop him. Poatan literally just kept kicking his legs. Half of Poatan's significant strikes, more than half, were leg kicks. What is going on? Glover Teixeira telling him it was 2-2 going into the 5th round. Where was the urgency then? Where was the urgency to go out and get the win? Where was the urgency with a UFC 205-pound championship belt on the line? Not to mention, that wasn't just on the line. Number 1 pound for pound ranking. Number 1 most legendary run in light heavyweight. I mean, for crying out loud, 4 knockouts in a row, and then to beat a guy as accomplished as Magomed Ankalaev, to hand Magomed Ankalaev his first loss in UFC history, you know what that would have done for Poatan's career? I mean, Poatan Pereira was already that big of a star, bro. And for something like that to happen, for something like that to happen to Poatan's career, where he comes in, he defeats a 20-1 guy that has not lost in the UFC, that would have shot Poatan right up into the sky with arguably Conor McGregor. Okay, maybe not arguably Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was a completely different fool. I mean, his mouth was different, bro. His mouth was different. Okay, all we heard from Poatan was Shama. But can you imagine what that would have done for Poatan's career? Beating a guy like Ankalaev, even if it was by decision. Even if it was by a close decision. Crazy. Crazy the world that we live in. Unbelievable sport. Guys, if you enjoyed the rant, don't forget to drop down, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Do you guys have anything to rant about? Drop it in the comments below, dude. Drop it in the comments below. This is going to take some time to wear off this steam. This is absolutely going to take some time. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. Back to the drawing board, I guess. Back to the drawing board to figure out where to go with my mental health from here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.